it's finally working. That was the first time that ever happened, that there wasn't any volume, but I fixed it already. So, hi guys. Let me, wait, one last one. Okay, all right. Yay, there, now everyone can hear me. Hi guys, welcome to IssaTalks. It's me, issaplease, and happy Easter to everyone who is watching the show. I know it's kind of late, but I wanted to give us some time to at least relax, because I know that mostly on Sundays we have dinner with the family, because yes, of course it is Easter. So yeah, hi Kenji, hi Alam, hi Pancho, and hi Pablo for watching. So yeah, if you guys don't know what issaplease or IssaTalks is, it is actually a live recording of my podcast that goes out all over the world, like on SoundCloud, on iTunes, and on Stitcher, and on my website, issaplease.com. So if this is your first time here, thank you so much for watching. If you've been here for the 9th episode or for the 8 episodes before, thank you so much for coming back to IssaTalks. And I am so excited to talk about today's episode. I have like the flash in my face right now because I turned the flash on. But so yes, today's topic is about happiness. So if you guys have any questions, any problems about happiness, and you want to talk to me about it, feel free to do so, because I'm all ears and all eyes. I have like I have the iPad on, and what the heck, this is an iPad. I have the tab on right now so I can hear and read everyone's comments and whatnot. Hold on, the flash is really blinding me right now. I have to turn this stuff off. Wait. There. Okay, I turned it off. Sorry guys, I had to turn it off because I couldn't see anything, but I'm back now. Hi Lay. So yeah, before I start and go ahead with the topic, I just wanted to thank our sponsor yet again. We have Neil Kisumbing of The Central on with us for another month. Thank you so much. And by the way guys, I do have a giveaway from The Central, but I will be talking about it later on in the show, probably towards the end. But I will be telling you guys about another really cool giveaway that will be happening on this show. So last week, if you weren't here, I actually gave away 2,000 pesos worth of GCs to Salon de Rose, and that was because we had a prom episode, and we talked about like the fun, the bad, the good memories about prom, and I was so happy to give away those GCs. And I haven't really had the time to go out and give it because it was the Holy Week, but I will do it this week for sure, I promise. So yeah, again, like I said, if you guys have any questions, if you guys are if you're in the same place that I was or am sometimes, then let me know in the comments below. You know, misery enjoys company, but you know what, we can get through this together. And the reason why we're talking about happiness this month or on this episode is basically because I had someone who really asked for this episode. So I really like it when you guys tell me what you guys want to see on the show, what you want to talk about. And yes, that did happen. Someone did tell me that they were really hoping that I would make an episode about happiness and what you can do, how to deal with it. And well, happiness and unhappiness is something that I think everyone can relate to. It's something that we've all dealt with or are dealing with in our lives. So why not, right? So if you guys want to talk about it, then let me know. Hi Daffy, hi Kenneth, and hi Pano. It's so nice to see you guys on the show. And yeah, so I have water here right now because we went boating yesterday, and I think I had a little bit too much fun singing the Moana and Titanic songs. So I ended up stretching or doing something to my voice, so now it really hurts. My throat really hurts, so I kind of have to modulate my voice a little bit, but I am gonna try to like talk a little bit louder if in case like you guys can't really hear me that much. So just let me know if there's something wrong with the show, and I will try my best to fix it. Like the lights and the volume earlier, I'm really sorry about that, but yeah, it is a live show, you know how it works guys. So yeah, why did I think that it was also a good topic or a good thing to talk about happiness and where to find it? And I think that there's a lot of reasons why we should be talking about happiness, because I think a lot of us deal with it. A lot of us deal with unhappiness or trying to be happy. And whether you're going through a quarter life crisis, or you feel like you're stuck in a rut, or there's something going on in your life like a heartbreak, a problem, if you're fighting with someone that you love or you're close to, I just think that sometimes we need a little bit of cues on how to get through these unhappy times. And Neil is on the show. Hi Neil, I hope you're having a good, fun, Holy Week, and happy Easter to you. So yeah, I think that I should tell you. Rolando Acosta Cabanero says, "Maalaala mo kaya?" This isn't really. This isn't gonna be like a super sad Sunday. I think it's important because I do know that a lot of us deal with it, and I was kind of practicing my lines earlier and what I was gonna say, like I usually do, and it kind of brought me back to a different place. I think that I was remembering a lot of times in my life where I was going through unhappiness and was struggling with it. And yes, I did. I think that, okay, I'll just be real with all of you guys. So I dealt with unhappiness for a very long time, and it was a different kind of unhappiness because I really did go through depression growing up, and it's not just me lightly throwing around the term that I'm depressed, but I actually did go through it growing up. I had a few anxiety attacks. I really did suffer through it, so my parents they almost brought me to a shrink so that we could talk about it, because I just really didn't know how to deal with it when I was a lot younger. I think that I was going through a lot of things growing up with a family, with school, but I got through those things, and as I was growing older, I think you call them situational instances where after school I just kind of felt that I wasn't where I wanted to be. There are just a lot of things in this life that make us unhappy or make us happy, and I don't think that a person can just be happy forever, or we can be unhappy forever. We can experience these feelings for long periods of time, but happiness is really easy to deal with. It's dealing with unhappiness and being sad that's the hard part. So I think that this is going to be a very important session, a podcast, and I'm very glad that you guys are on here. I have Edel on, and my papa's watching. Hi! So Rolando says, "Hi Issa, thanks for the shout out. Anyways, can you do beatboxing?" I've tried it. I'm not good at it, but I might attempt to do that another time on the show. But yeah, so like I said, I did go through it. I did go through very long periods of unhappiness, and it got to a point where I did a lot of things that I think I'm not very proud of, but you know what, I kind of realized that it made me a lot stronger, and I basically really know what it's like to be in that state. So I think that this is a good session for everyone to talk about it. And if you feel like my voice is cracking and it sounds like I'm about to cry, I'm not about to cry. My voice is just really raspy right now because I sang too much on the butt last night or yesterday. And I had friends over, so we were talking a lot, and I kind of stretched out my voice a little bit too much. So now my voice is like this. It's shaking and it's cracking. So yeah, I have my mom on here. Hi, Mom. And Fiona is here, and she says, soon to be an adober, nice. And Arvin says, so random. So yeah, I basically already have like a little timeline or a little outline of what we're going to talk about. This is what I do every single time I'm on the show. And I know that I wrote here that there are things that make us unhappy, which is like what I mentioned earlier. It's either work or fights with friends or with boyfriend, or if you're going through a heartbreak. And there's so many things that make us sad. And I guess the important thing that I think a lot of us should learn is how to deal with it. I have Kenji saying, I look at your website, amazing. We use the same template. That's awesome. So you guys should check it out. It's kenjideguzman.com. It's in the comments. Go check it out below. But yeah, yeah, I think I am rambling a little bit, but I really do know what it's like to be unhappy, to deal with unhappiness. And it's not a fun feeling. I would go through it a lot because basically I'm a very emotional creature. I think a lot of women and men, even if you don't want to admit it, are also very emotional. And sometimes life just hits us too hard, and we don't really know what to do with all these struggles that come our way, whether they're financial, they're related to school, or with relationships. Happiness and unhappiness are depend on a lot of factors that are going on in our life. So I think the biggest struggle of unhappiness that I had very recently was I know that I went through a quarter life crisis for the longest time. I was very unhappy because I felt like I wasn't doing very well. I wasn't successful in what I was doing, and it got to a point that I would actually bargain with the world or with God and say, I don't care if I don't have a good relationship with my family, I don't have a good relationship with friends, for as long as I'm successful. Because I was like 21 until 25, and I thought that my measure of success would equate to my happiness. And it got to a point where, yes, I was feeling that I was a little bit successful. I was reaching that level of success that I always wanted. And then I realized I still wasn't happy. So I sat down again and I tried to bargain with the world again and said, I don't really care if I'm not successful anymore. I just want to have a good relationship with my family, with my friends, with other people. And then I had that. And again, my success, I felt that that was my level of, my relationships, the success of my relationships equated to my happiness. But then I was looking at everything in the bigger picture, and I felt that I was 25, I was 26, and I hadn't actually achieved anything. And then it made me sad again. So I kind of realized at that point that I measured happiness with my levels of success, and I didn't think that it was possible to achieve everything. I thought, well, the world is just like that. It's either you're but successful, you're so successful, but you just don't have a good relationship with everyone around you or with most of the people around you. I really thought that it was impossible, but I kind of got to a point and I was able to reassess and look at my life and realize that you can have everything, not everything, but most of the things that you want without having to compromise anything. And that was something that took me a really long time to realize. I'll be honest with you guys, I do struggle with it sometimes. I think now it's a little bit better. I don't deal with it as much, but it is, I think that I often say that happiness is fleeting, but I have actually found a way. I'm not like a guru. I'm not a master at this. I'm still 26 years old, so there's still a lot for me to learn. But if you feel like you're my age or you feel like you're going through the same things that I am going through, then maybe this will help you, because I'm doing a lot better. I don't really get as sad as I used to be, and it's a lot easier for me to find that sense of calmness, and I found a certain level of peace with myself and with the people around me. So it's really good. Sorry if it sounds like I'm about to cry. I am in no way going to cry. That's not what we do on this show, but it's really just my voice. So I want to say hi to Ryan and Mars and Dominic for watching. Hi guys, thank you guys so much for watching the show. I hope you had an awesome Easter Sunday and an awesome Holy Week. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching the show. So again, what we're talking about is finding happiness, and it's not really like the key to happiness. I don't think that there's just one key to happiness. Maybe on a spiritual level, if this was a religious show, there's probably like a one-way answer, but I'm just gonna go and talk about what I know. So I think the one thing that really helped me out in finding, I don't like to say happiness, I like to say peace. I think that I'm a lot more peaceful, and that peace makes me happy. But what I had to do in order to get to this point was first and foremost to identify the things that made me unhappy or that was making me sad. So I guess when I was younger, it was the struggles with my family situation, or it was with friends, or it was at school. And as I got older, the moment I really sat down and thought to myself and tried to figure out what was making me so unhappy, I then started to realize that I was very unhappy because I didn't feel that I was doing enough with my life. And that unhappiness of feeling that I wasn't successful or I wasn't doing well, it made me a really bitter and angry and eventually a very unhappy person. So what I would do was I would get very jealous of other people. I would feel very insecure about myself. I would judge people more than they ought to be judged. I would compare myself to other people. I would create invisible competitions, and I like to say that a lot on this show, but I would try to compete with other people, and they didn't even know that I was in competition with them. I hated their guts, I hated their face, because they were a lot more successful than me. And I would look at them and say, why are they like that? Why is their life a lot better than mine? I work just as hard as they do. I deserve it so much more than they do. I have so much more potential than they do. And why am I here? And it was then when I was doing those things, it was then when I was comparing myself that I realized that I was actually very unhappy, because if you are a happy person, then you don't do those kinds of things. Hi, Hannah Tixon is on. And, well, it was, at that point, those are the things that made me very unhappy. I kind of thought I'm 26 years old and I haven't really done anything in my life, and it made me even more unhappy. So I had to just sit down, and it required a lot of crying. It required a lot of talking to people who are a lot older than me. It required just a lot of guidance and a lot of praying and a lot of meditation. But at the end of the day, when I was done reflecting and looking at myself and trying to realize why I was all these things, why I was so angry, why I was so depressed, why I was so jealous, and why I was so competitive against other people, I really realized that the bottom point of why I was like this was basically just because I wasn't content. I wasn't contented with what I had. All I did was compare myself to people who I thought were achieving more than I was achieving. And I wasn't looking at myself and thinking that I'm actually doing not a lot more, but a little bit more than other people. I started looking at people higher than me, and instead of making them my inspiration, I made them my competition, which really wasn't healthy at all. And that was the moment I thought, nah, it's kind of stupid for me to create all these invisible competitions with people. They're living their lives. Here I am, sitting at my computer, going through Facebook, looking at other people, looking at my friends, and just comparing myself and just being so discontented, uncontented. I don't really know what the word is. Basically, I just wasn't contented with what I had. And I think that is the thing that killed me the most. It's what killed my spirit, because I just wasn't contented with what I had. At the end of the day, I forgot to sit down and think, I'm very lucky because I have friends. I have friends who are successful, who could inspire me, who are smart, who will teach me, who will help me if I need guidance. I forgot to think that I have a roof over my head. I have a job. I can pay for my bills. I can eat. I have a family that loves me. Even if for the most part or some parts it wasn't the best, I just really forgot how to be contented. And I honestly think that is the thing that kills our happiness. It's just not learning how to be contented, or not learning how to be grateful for the things that we have. And, well, if you guys feel that that's the same way for you, then let me know. If you guys are having any problems, if you think that there's something that you need to let out and talk about on the show, please leave it in the comments below and we will talk about it. I have Kenji de Guzman asking, does spending a huge time on social media contribute to your depression? Okay, let's talk about social media a little bit. I think that a lot of people think or have the perception or have the idea that social media does make you depressed. In a way, yes. Sometimes I think it's a mindset, because obviously, I've heard this before. Social media or your Facebook or whatever you post online is the highlight of your entire reel. If movie pa siya, you don't see the behind the scenes. All you see is a pretty picture. No one is gonna want, unless like you're like really out there and stuff. But most of the time, people don't really say on Facebook or on social media na, I'm sad, or I'm depressed, or I don't have money. Most of the time, people want to put their highlights on social media, but I used to be like that. I used to think that I used to get depressed because on social media, especially because I'm a blogger and I see that a lot of people, like for me at a certain point, numbers really mattered to me, and I would feel really depressed about that. But then as I thought about it, this is just people's lives that they're willing to put on social media and in the public, but you don't really know the struggles that go behind them. So I don't really know. I think it's more of a perception now. Like, now that I know this, I don't really go on social media and look at people's lives and say, oh, I'm so jealous. Oh, she's living a better life than me. I'm so depressed. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I don't really see it that way anymore because I have a better understanding that people don't really post their behind the scenes on social media. But of course, maybe it does affect us sometimes, like masuya ka, or you get jealous that everyone's out. Everyone's, like, let's just say Holy Week. Everyone was out, everyone was partying, everyone was having a good time, and maybe you're at home and you're just depressed and like sad because you didn't get to do those things. But then again, when you see those things, it makes you think like I stayed home for like some parts of Holy Week, and it just makes you think now, well, at least I don't have work. I could be working, or at least if Holy Week namang lang good, at least I have a roof over my head and I'm not on the streets. Guys, it was raining really hard last Saturday and like 6 people died. You should just be happy that you had a roof on your heads and you weren't flooded, or when it was raining, you weren't outside. Diba? I mean, it really is a matter of just being contented. And sometimes I really think that that's one thing that we forget to realize. So now I don't really get jealous. Sometimes, let's just say in the blogging world, yes, sometimes I do get jealous that I don't get invited to events. I know of a lot of people who blatantly post their jealousy and stuff, but then you just have to realize, oh, you can't get invited to everything. If your friends go out and you're not there, you can't get jealous. That life is gonna go on without you. It's just, it was your time to go out. It was their time to go out. It was your time to stay in. There are going to be times that they're going to stay in and you're going to go out. It's the hard part, Manggod, is when you start to compare. When you start to get jealous, and you kind of put them higher than you rather than just thinking of all the things that you have. And gratitude is the one thing that really helped me the most. It was the one thing that really humbled me as a person. So one thing that I really like to do when I started this on my blog. I started it on my personal blog, and I made a list of the things that I was grateful for. And if you go on IssaTalks.wordpress.com, you'll see it there. I would make a daily list of the things that made me happy or the things that made me grateful for the day. And it was sort of a prayer. I'm not the most religious person, although I do pray, I do acknowledge God, but I'm not like, dili gyud ko like super just nun ba. But it was me thanking God and the universe for everything that I had. So it was either thank you that the sun is out. Thank you that I was able to find extra change in my wallet. It was just like sometimes it would be a very long list. Sometimes it would be a very small list. When I was sad, I would say that I was sad, but then I would still write the things that I was grateful for. And I think that helped me so much because it humbled me. It made me stop looking at everyone around me, and it made me just think about what I was grateful for and what I was and am blessed with. And although I don't do it as much on my blog, I still do it on a daily basis. Before I go to bed, when I'm just on my phone, I think about all the things that I'm grateful for, and when I'm done with it, I realize that I absolutely have nothing to be unhappy about. So that is what I do. That's what I do to deal with unhappiness. But if you guys have any questions with certain situational unhappinesses, then let me know. Let me read your comments because I have a lot coming. And Julie Nebria says, pa-shout out og name ni baby nako Issa. Nathan Angelo, the best. Hi, Nathan Angelo. And Kitty's here. Hi, Kitty. And Arvin says, at least wala na stranded sa baha. And yes, that's true. Diane and Angela are watching. Hi. Kenji is asking again, how do you balance between self-acceptance and self-improvement? There are a lot of people who are happy with what they have, but they are broke and unhealthy. So that's kind of a lot for me to digest right now. Let me go through this. Like sometimes when I have really long comments, I kind of can't digest it or process it right away. So let me just try to process that. So let's start with your first question. How do you balance self-acceptance and self-improvement? All right, so those are very different things. Self-acceptance is basically like by what the word is. It's basically self-acceptance. So, and then you have self-improvement. So this is what I did. I knew that there are a lot of things that was bad about me, and I was talking about I just wasn't grateful for all the things that I had. So I sat down and said, what are the things that I have to change? Why am I like this? Why am I insecure? Why am I very competitive? Why am I very ungrateful? Why am I like this? And I had to really assess and think about who I was and why I came to be this person. And then I thought, do I like the person that I am? Do I like this certain trait about me? Because there are things about me that I know aren't very good, but I've accepted. But there are a lot of things about me that I don't like, that I had to improve on, and that I'm still improving on until now. So let's say one thing about me that I had to accept. Let's just say physical na lang. Let's start with the physical, because we have a lot of girls on here who are very insecure. And I am one of them. I have the body insecurities and stuff like that. And self-acceptance is either I can accept that I'm short because I can't do anything about that. But I've gained a little weight. I don't feel very healthy. And I had the option to think, do I accept that I'm like this, or do I change it? Do I improve myself? And for me, I don't really have any issues with being a little bit chubby, but I just wasn't feeling unhealthy. I would sweat in places that I didn't know you could sweat in before. I would hurt in places that usually wouldn't hurt. And I just thought that I wasn't happy. So it was, do I accept that I'm like this and love my body, or would I love myself a little bit better if I felt healthier? And if I felt that I had more energy because I was living a healthier lifestyle. And it was a yes, I wanted to. It's not me fat shaming anyone. It was just me making a decision that I do want to be healthier. And although I haven't really reached that ideal weight, I am trying. I'm giggling because it's so funny. But I am trying a little bit harder than I usually would to be healthier, to eat healthier, to be a little bit more conscious, because it's not, for me, it's not an option of accepting it. It's something that I have to improve on. So, muna siya. That for me is something that I have to go, that's something that I go through between self-acceptance and self-improvement. Let's say something, let's just say something with my batasan, or like with my attitude. Sorry guys, for people who are listening on the podcast, this is recorded live and I am from the Philippines, Cebu to be specific. So if you hear some words that you can't really understand, I will try to translate them to English, but for the most part, if I slip a few words in, then I hope you guys can just fill in the blanks. Because guys, if you didn't know that this is actually an international show, so every once in a while I say things that I'm not supposed to say because my listeners can't listen to it or can't understand it, but I will try my best to speak in English. There are just some words that you can't say straight English. So, but yeah, let's talk about like some of my attitudes. What is one attitude that I had to accept? I think I had to accept that not everyone is going to like me. And that is something I've talked about this with someone. I actually talked about this with someone recently, and both of us kind of had that struggle growing up where we wanted to please everyone. And that was something that I had to struggle with. Do I accept that I can't please everyone, or do I improve it? And for a while I thought about it. It would be such a great feeling if everyone in the world would like you. If every single person you met turned around and said, oh, she's a really swell gal, or I like her. But you know what? Sometimes that just doesn't happen. And that is something that I had to accept, that I'm just going to be me, the best version of myself that I can be. And if people don't like it, then I'm fine with it. And I just had to accept that not everyone is going to like me. For as long as I know, and I say this like every single episode, every time someone asks me, I always say, well, I'm going to try to be the best person that I can be. But I lost what I was going to say. But if I can't, then that's fine. You can't please everyone. And that's just something that, you know, it's a matter of choice, I think. If you see that there's something that you can't really change, or, you know, if your values aren't really there. I mean, sometimes there are people that you shouldn't have to please, diba? Or there's no point. But for the most part, I know that I am trying to be the best version of myself that I can be. And if people don't like it, well, that's fine, because I know that I'm not doing anything bad. I'm not hurting anyone. I'm not stepping on anyone's toes. So if they just don't like me, it's probably because they don't know me. And that happens quite a lot in this little life that I'm living. Not everyone likes me, but, you know, honestly, that's okay. People say that I'm very arte, and I don't understand this concept of me being arte. And I've talked to people about it, but you know what? The people who know me say that I'm not, and they say that, and they actually defend me. So I'm like, you know what? The people who know me think that I'm this, so I've accepted it already. It's not something that I have to improve, and I think that is one thing that kind of answers your question, Kenji. And you're also asking, there are a lot of people who are happy with what they have, but they are broke and unhealthy. Well, you know, not everyone has the same mindset. You can't change anyone or everyone, but you know, if you can help out those people, then that would be really great. I have Hannah Oibenki watching, hi, and Arvin says relate. Chantan is watching and he says hi Jean. It's actually Jean, it's not Jean, if you're wondering. So yeah, again, if you guys just came on the show, I've been here for already 30 minutes. Time actually does fly, guys, when I'm doing the show. I suddenly realized that we're on this for like 30 minutes or more, and I'm just like, oh, I just started talking. But yeah, if you guys just came on the show, we are talking about happiness or the key to happiness, or just basically going through depression. Or I don't like easily throwing away the word depression, because sometimes people say, oh, I'm depressed, but you don't really know what it's like to be actually depressed. So I don't like saying depressed. I like saying unhappy or sad rather than depressed. Depressed is such a, I think it's another spectrum, ibang level na siya. So yeah, I have like a little note here that says personal story of unhappiness, and it starts with the line when I was young. So I'm gonna go talk about that. I remember when I was, I think it was as young as high school, or actually maybe even grade school, where we had to do a little essay, and it said, the question was, because when you're in grade school or high school, when you're practicing your writing, they often give you topics to talk about, and you just write about it. And I specifically remember the question was, what do you want to be when you grow up? And little artsy fartsy, must be different little Issa, the weird girl that I am, wrote, and I had to read this in front of the class, and I got called out for it. But yeah, anyways, I said, when I was young, when people would ask me what I wanted to be, I would say I wanted to be an actress, I wanted to be a ballerina, I wanted to be a singer, I wanted to be a singer and stuff like that. But as I've gotten older, when people ask me what I want to be when I grow up, the only thing I can reply with is happy. O, diba? O, ikayo. That is actually what I wrote, and I don't remember the rest of the article or the essay. I don't even know where it is anymore. I think it's buried between all my stacks of articles and essays that I wrote growing up, because I constantly wrote. I love writing and everything. So that's what I actually said. When I was younger, people would ask me what I wanted to be, and I would answer with this, and that. But now that now as I've gotten older, now that people ask me what I want to be when I grow up, all I can say is happy. And my teacher actually called me out on this and said, she said something now, you know, happiness is subjective. You can be anything. You can be the most successful person in the world, but you won't necessarily be happy. And that really struck me. It's moments like this that I wish that I remembered who told me that, because that was really striking. Probably not striking enough for me to remember, but also maybe because I can't remember anything for the life of me. But so that's what I got. That's the response that I got. It was really long. It was very dramatic. It was very melodramatic. This is probably in high school, where like alternative rock was really in and everyone was so emo. But it was definitely one of those moments in grade school or in high school. And then she asked me to rewrite my entire article or essay and make it a little bit more specific, and I was kind of mad at that. But I definitely think it was somewhere in high school. I was just very, very, very unhappy. I think it was because I was very confused. I had to deal with basically what I dealt with for a very long time. What do I want to be when I grow up? And I just thought my greatest fear before was, I have so many things that I want to do. There's so many things in this life that I want to do, and I'm scared that I will never have enough time to do it. And that made me so anxious. It made me very unhappy, and I struggled with that for a very long time. If you guys know, I did graduate 5 years ago from college, and I know this because Facebook memories is a very great reminder of all your ups and downs in life. So I'm very happy about that. So I did graduate 5 years ago. And when I graduated from college, I hated college, guys. Like, I'll be up in front. Everybody knows this. It's not a surprise. I hated college. I did not like my course. I was very bitter and very angry about it. So I was very angsty and a very rebellious teenager just because I hated college and stuff like that. But when I graduated college, I thought, yes, this is finally my time to be happy. I can finally do all the things that made me happy. And I always thought, I had a very big picture in my head. I thought that I was going to graduate, find the job of my dreams, or find the one thing in my life that was going to make me happy and keep doing it. And by 25, I was going to be freaking rich and famous and whatever I wanted to be. I thought I was going to be like super successful, but then I turned 25 and I was still like trying to figure out my life and stuff like that. And then it got me very sad again. And I think for sure that was my quarter life crisis. And I went through it for like 3 years straight. It comes and goes. Every time it's my birthday, I have that seasonal unhappiness. But this time I kind of see it with better eyes, and I just think that I'm living my life and I'm doing the things that makes me happy. I thought that I just had to work and not really just live your life and not just figure it out and stuff like that. But now I kind of see it in a different perspective, and I'm just like, well, life is short. I might as well try everything that makes me happy. And if it makes me unhappy, if I don't like it, well, at this point I can't even say that it makes me unhappy, because at this point it's a lesson. You can't be unhappy, you can't be sad if you didn't learn anything. And every experience that we go through, we always get something out of it. It's a lesson. Even if you get your heart broken, even if you're unhappy, even if you fail, you learn something, and that lesson alone should make you grateful. It should make you happy. And that is basically just how I try to live my life right now. So I'm trying everything out, just seeing where I can go. And there's something wrong with my computer. Hold up. It's still recording. All right. So that's basically how I try to live my life right now. I'm a little, like I keep saying, I am a little bit more peaceful right now, and it helps so much. It's unbelievable at this point at how contented and how peaceful I feel. Sometimes, yes, I do get sad, I do get angry, but I have found ways to make it a lot easier. And I hope the things that I've been saying to you guys so far, they will be able to help you. I have Neil asking, Issa, what is the best way to stay happy, like a method? All right, so this is one thing that I was talking about earlier, Neil. And I think that I've talked about this with you during one of our talks. But if you didn't catch it earlier, the one thing that I like to do in order for me to stay happy, for me right now, I think that happiness is equivalent to gratitude, or how grateful I am, or how contented I am with my life. So I do make a list of things that I'm grateful for at the end of the day. I try to make a list of things that I want to achieve in a day, and if I am able to achieve everything, then woohoo, good for me. But if I can't, then I just think, well, why wasn't I able to do this? What can I do in order to make it better? How can I achieve it next time? And I think that it just, at the same time, it helps me arrange and organize my thoughts, but it also helps me humble myself a lot more. When I say contentment, it doesn't mean that I've set a goal and once I've achieved that goal, I'm done. No, I have short-term goals and I have long-term goals, and sometimes I stick to the goal, sometimes I change it. Like, I never thought that I was going to do a podcast. Nobody thought I was going to do a podcast. Nobody thought that we would be doing this for like 9 times already. It's an Easter Sunday and we're still doing this. That just goes to show that I love it. And that's something that I didn't really think of in the long run. So when I say contentment, it's not just me settling. I don't think that I ever settle for less. I am always making goals, but I've also acknowledged the fact that sometimes you can't achieve everything, and that also teaches you humility. And I think this peace and understanding comes with age and being around people a lot older than me, because I do like to surround myself with older people. And I look at their lives and think, and I ask them sometimes, where do you think you would be at 25 or at your age and stuff like that? And they always say the same thing. I didn't think I would be here. I thought that at this age I would be this and I would be that. So, we're not the only people going through them, but happiness is very optional. You can choose to have a struggle make you happy. You can choose to make a struggle make you unhappy, but I choose to be happy for most of the time. If there's something that makes me sad, I try to think of ways that I can fix it and become unsad or happy. So I like to think that I'm very hands-on with my life, but you know what? Sometimes I fail, guys. Sometimes I'm not always happy, but you know what? If there's a will, there's a way. You can always choose happiness and find a way to make yourself happy. Katrina and Yara is watching. Hi, Kat. Kenji says, what areas now that you think you wanted to improve and develop? It's kind of difficult to be happy when your life is in a downhill. Okay. You're talking about your life being in a downhill. I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist or anything. But I did come to a point where I was at an all-time low, and this is kind of a sensitive topic. I don't like to talk about this so much, but yes, it did come to a point where I thought that I was better off not living in this world anymore. I felt that I was losing my friends, I was losing my family, I was losing my job, I was losing the person that I loved, and it was a very, very hard time in my life. And I'm gonna have to drink water. I'm not gonna cry, I swear to God. My voice is just cracking a little bit more than it should be, but yeah, it did come to that point. I did look at my life and think, oh, I'm losing everything. I have absolutely nothing in my life left. And I'm kind of lost. But and I just felt that I didn't want to be here anymore. But then it got to a point where I wouldn't even eat anymore. I didn't want to wake up. I was just so sad. I was so sad. I didn't want to talk to anyone. All I wanted to do was just drink and just be sad. But I think, and this is on another level, I don't know if everyone would want to hear this and stuff like that, but that is the time when I found God. And it was because I kind of realized, I had lost everything, and yet I still had the strength to wake up, to get up, and I thought that strength didn't come from me. That it wasn't me anymore. It was just something higher. It was something a lot bigger than myself. And that's how I think that I found God. And that made a really big impact on my life. And now I pray a lot more. I'm not as religious as I would want to be, but I am making steps to get to that point. And I think maybe it hasn't come for you yet, but it might come for you, and I'm praying for you. But it's a choice. It really is a choice. So you can have everything in your life gone, but you have to start thinking, no, I don't have friends. I don't have family. I don't have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I don't have a job. But you're not living on the streets. You're still lucky. You have Facebook. You have Wi-Fi. So there's still something. You can always talk to someone. If you feel, Kenji, that you're really sad and you don't have anyone to talk to, you can always message me and I'll be there. I'll talk to you. So you're not at a complete loss. There's so many things for you. That's what I'm saying. You have to learn how to be contented or to count your blessings. You can probably feel like you've lost everything, but you're not at a complete loss because you're still on this earth, and there's a reason why you're on this earth. And I think that things that make you sad, they also make you stronger, or you can choose to make them stronger. You can choose to make you weak. But the bottom point here is, you choose what life throws at you. You can't choose what life throws at you, but you can choose what you want to do with it. And I think that if you choose to make them stronger, and you come out of anything or whatever you're going through a lot stronger than you actually think. And you'll look at yourself and you'll be like, oh, this is one thing that I would think of before, I'd be like, oh, I don't want to be here anymore. I think the world would be a lot better if I was dead. And I'd just be so sad. And then I would think, I want to see what my life would be like a year from now, 6 months from now. And let's say 6 months has passed since I was in that really bad place. And I look at myself and I'm like, no, it did get a lot better. And I'm happy that I found the strength in me to find better things to make life a lot better for me. And I can now look at them and say, these are just some things that I had to go through in order for me to become a lot stronger and a lot happier and a lot more content. So I think that that's something that you have to consider also. And of course, if you feel like you have absolutely no one to talk to, Facebook is free. You obviously have it. You can message me. So don't be shy. There's always someone willing to help, someone who's willing to hear you out. So that's something that it's really breaking, guys. That's really something that I think you should put into perspective. I have Cheska on the show. Hi, Cheska. Thank you so much for watching. I hope once you're in Cebu, you can come and sing us all a beautiful song. So yeah, so how can you be happy? I have a little list of things that I did in order to make me happy, and I've been saying the first part for a while now, and I said I like to list down the things that I think, or I like to list down the things that I'm thankful for or that I'm grateful for. And I do that in the mornings, or most of the time I do it at night before I go to sleep. It's like my little prayer, and I just list down the things, or I point them out. I make little points and be like, today I'm grateful for this. Even if it's like, sometimes they're like the dumbest things. It's just like, I'm thankful that there was hot water today. I'm thankful that it rained, or that it wasn't so init the day, or I'm grateful that I had water, or a friend talked to me. Little things like that. I think they already perk me up. So that's what I like to do. I also like to surround myself with very good people. And I think that that's one thing that is very important, to surround yourself with good people, with people who encourage you and bring you up rather than bring you down. Sometimes I think that we need a little, it's not like bringing you down all the way down, but it's just like a little bringing you back to earth. If you're a little bit in over your head, sometimes you just need to be a little bit humbled, and it's nice to be with people who are honest with you and will tell you, you know what, you're this and you're that. It's not a really good thing, so maybe you might want to tone it down a little bit, or be a little bit more like this or like that. And I think that's good. You don't want to be with people who always just sige lang kag ulug-ulugan, or just like bullshit you all the way and say, oh, you're great, you're awesome, and they don't tell you the real stuff. So it's good to surround yourself around people who tell you, who are honest with you, and who are real. And I think that is very important. So that's one thing that I try to do at the most. I honestly have had to let go of a few friends who I realized weren't good for me. I had tried to be nice to them and tried to keep them and tried to just have them in my life. I don't like cutting people out, but sometimes it just has to be done. And you kind of realize when that happens, it kind of sets you free. And that is something that happens. It is true what they say. As when you're younger, you have a lot of friends, and as you get a little bit older, that tends to like, the list just gets shorter and shorter and shorter. But I think that that's not a bad thing all the time. But of course, you don't want to be mean to everyone, so you just gotta figure it out. I also have do something for yourself, and that is something that I like to do. You can't always be super selfless and like just give and give and give and not really keep anything for yourself. So what I do for my blog, that is something that I do for myself. I think that makes me happy. This podcast makes me happy, and it's something that I initially did for myself because it was something that I wanted to try out, and I'm really enjoying it. And I'm really happy that this thing that I decided that I wanted to do because I thought it was going to make me happy actually does make me happy, and I get to do it with all of you guys who have been supporting me through 9 episodes. And I'm happy that it doesn't just make me happy, but it makes you guys happy. So that is something that I think that all of us should consider. You don't have to do something as extravagant as this, but you can go out, spend a day out, at least one day, like stay in, or like go on a trip. Those are just things that I think can help you be happy and keep you well in your little world of sanity. Sometimes you all need a break, and I think we get really unhappy when we're like burnt out and stuff. So it's nice to do something for yourself every once in a while. I also have stopped the bad habits. So for me, my bad habits were comparing myself to other people, being just just being ungrateful altogether. So that was something that I really had to stop doing, and that I think that is a part of my self-improvement. So I think if you can look at your own lives and be like, this is a bad habit, this is what's keeping me unhappy, and you can stop doing that. And I think once you're able to do that, then it'll make you feel a lot better. Like, I want to stop eating unhealthy food, so I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to eat healthier, and then you'll feel a little bit better. There are actually like very scientific ways of making yourself feel better, like eat healthy food or go to the gym or stand under the sun. But I like to stick to the more emotional stuff because I am a very emotional creature. I am scratching myself, if you are wondering, because I got stung by a jellyfish. I know I'm not supposed to scratch it, but I never listen. Another thing that I like to do is I always like to be nice to other people, and that is very hard to do sometimes. So, okay, let me tell you guys a little story about what happened to me earlier. I'm kind of crabby right now. I'm in this, like, I'm basically PMSing, guys. So I'm a little bit cranky and stuff like that. So me and my mom and my brother, we had dinner earlier, and this waitress, she was really mean to us. Like, she came up and she's like, "What do you want to order?" "Onse moha." And we're like going through the menu and we're like, "What's this?" Because we went to like an Indian restaurant. I don't eat Indian food so much. None of us do. So we're really just curious, and we had a lot of questions. And this waitress, she was just really crabby, and I hated her so much. I was about to magmina. I was about to like turn into the Hulk. Basically, that's what happened. But I didn't. I was just quiet, and I was just like, I hate her already. But I forgot that little mental note that I tell myself, that is to always be nice to other people. And thankfully my mom was there, and my mom is usually well, when she's happy and she's nice, she's a lot happier and nicer than I am. So she actually, I stopped talking to the waitress because I was getting pissed at her, but she was the person who started talking to the waitress, and she was like, I don't know what my mom did. She was like, she's amazing, like, when it comes to people. I don't, like, she's pretty crabby also, but she's amazing when it comes to other people. So she was like, "Can you die?" She's like talking her up, and then suddenly the girl started smiling, and like the mood just changed completely, and it was a lot easier for us to like deal with her. She would come back, bring us more water, ask us if we wanted anything else. And then I kind of realized, like, looking at like that transformation, that's when I realized why it's so important for you to be nice to other people, because you don't know what another person is going through. So maybe like, in my head, maybe that waitress is going through a bad time. Maybe it's the Holy Week, her family's home, but she has to work. She probably doesn't want to be here, and that's why she's being crabby. And it doesn't help if your customers are crabby. It didn't help that she was being crabby to us, because it was pissing me off, and I eventually would have like done something else to her. Probably would have been kind of mean and snarky to her, but I really tried not to, and my mom just worked her magic. And I realized that maybe there's a reason why she was grumpy and why she was unhappy or seemingly unhappy. But if you're nice to other people, because you don't know what people are going through, if you kind of hit a negative emotion with something positive, then you get a positive response out of it, and you just see how much of a difference it makes. It is actually amazing, guys, and it doesn't just change the mood, but it actually changes another person's mood, and happiness is contagious. It's really contagious, because my mom came in there, she was so freaking happy. I don't know what she was happy about. Like, she was snarky for most of the week, and then she came in there, she was so happy talking this girl up, and she's suddenly happy, and I'm like, okay, well, happiness really is contagious, and that's why it's important to be nice to everyone, or to most people, because we don't really know what a person is going through. And that's one thing that I kind of fell short of earlier, but it was a good reminder. So that's what I always try to do. I always, but not very consistent, because yeah, like what happened earlier, but for the most part, I try to be as nice as I can to other people. And you're not hurting anyone when you're being nice, so why not do it? I don't know why people have to talk down to other people and be all high and mighty. It doesn't work, guys. Like, come on. No one is better than anyone else. We're all equal. We're all trying to live our lives. We're all trying to make a living. So why be mean? Like, nobody deserves that. So yeah, those are like that's basically how I go through this life. I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say that I'm never unhappy, or that I'm always happy. I don't think that a person can be happy all throughout. I don't think that a person can be unhappy all throughout either. But it's more of how you deal with it and how you it's how you choose to deal with the situation and be happy. And I remember saying this to a good friend. I remember saying this specifically. You only have 24 hours in a day. You never know if you're going to die tomorrow. So why would you want to spend, if I'm going to die tomorrow, I don't want to die thinking that I spent the most of my waking hours being mad and unhappy and angry. Mad and happy and angry are the same thing. But yeah, like I don't want to think that I spent the most of my time or the last days of my life being unhappy or being mad or being sad or depressed. So that's really how I just try. I think that's one thing that I've learned, that life is really fleeting. We can be here today. I could probably die in my sleep. Something might happen. Knock on all wood in this house. But I just don't want to think that I'm gonna leave this earth being unhappy. You never know when you're gonna die, guys. It's a reality, but that's just not how I want to go. And I choose happiness. I try to be happy. If something makes me unhappy, I try to just solve it right away. I don't let it bother me for so long, because I just don't want to be so mad and unhappy for a very long time. And I hope that that's something that you guys take into consideration. Hi Chai and hi Rigel. I hope to meet you, Rigel, in CDO when I'm there next week. Woot, woot, woot. So Geico list of things that I should do when I'm there. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching the show. This is IssaTalks, and if you're watching me from a live device on my Facebook account, thank you so much. I hope that you guys like the show and that you hit the notifications button on my profile somewhere there when I'm done with the show. But don't leave just yet, because I have a few announcements for you guys. And if you're listening to me on iTunes or SoundCloud or Stitcher or wherever else in the world, I hope that you enjoyed this episode and that you do give me 5 stars, or at least give me a review, guys. Your reviews will go a long way in improving IssaTalks. And thank you so much for being here for 9 episodes already. I can't believe it's 9 episodes. So next week I will be in CDO, and I'm so excited. I've never been there before, but I will be doing the show. I will never miss a Sunday, because I love doing this. I love talking to you guys, and hopefully very soon I will be able to have another guest on the show. So I'm really working on that. I'm doing all the research. So yeah, this show is going to stay here for as long as you guys are watching, as long as you guys want me to. And also, I would like to thank Neil Kisumbing of the Central Bar and Lounge. So if you haven't been there and you feel like you're a little bit stressed out and you need a drink, you need to be a little bit happier, I hope that you guys drop by there and spend time with your friends. Grab a drink. You don't have to get butt drunk. You can just go with a friend and like talk, and just like, it's nice to talk to people, and you should definitely do that at the Central. Also, I will be giving away a bottle of tequila from the Central. Where is it? I gotta go find it. I didn't take it out, but it's somewhere in this house. I'll take it out. I'll take a picture of it. But I will be giving it away when I come back from CDO. And all you have to do, if you do frequently go to the Central, there is a wall over there. I'll take a picture of it and post it on my wall. So please make sure to subscribe and hit that notifications button, and I will show you a picture. And when you go to Central, all you have to do is take a picture or a selfie with it. Just pose, do the little Instagram pose, and tag me in that photo, and I will announce the winner in 2 weeks from now. So I hope that you guys do join that giveaway. I'm so excited to give out the tequila. I actually wanted to keep it for myself a little bit, but healthy lifestyle lagi, so delete na lang. And also, if you are a teenager, if you're in high school, I think it's ages 12 to 16, and you want to do something fun for the summer, I will be a coach for the Academy of Extraordinary Teenagers. That's with Adrian Ding, and I will be talking about fashion, self-love, body images, and all that great stuff for teenagers. So if you're a little bit curious about that, I will be posting the promotional poster on my wall, or you can go check out the Academy of Extraordinary Teens. And I'm so excited because I will be on for the entire summer. I will be giving away 2 talks for that. And on May 20, I will be giving another beauty talk with Jen Murillo, and I'll be posting the details again on my wall. So if you want to learn about beauty and makeup and fashion, I will be there. I'll be teaching the fashion segment of it, and I'm so excited to meet everyone. If you want to do something with your mom, it's going to be like a little after Mother's Day, but it's still going to be something really fun that you can do with your family or your friends. So I will post that all on my Facebook wall. I will post it on my Instagram. So please do make sure to follow me. I am issaplease almost everywhere. The talk, however, is called IssaTalks, and that is on iTunes and Stitcher. But for the most part, all my social media accounts are issaplease, and I really do hope that you guys follow me. I have a YouTube account. It is issaplease. So if you're listening to this on your mobile device, if you're not watching this live and you want to watch the live version, if you want to put a face to the voice and see what I actually look like and all my hand gestures and all that other stuff, you can catch these episodes on my YouTube. So I do hope that you check that out. And I also have issaplease.com where you can just go. It's just like a little, I don't know what I'm trying to talk about anymore. It's one place where you can go. It's a hub. That's basically what I'm trying to say. It's a hub for everything that you ever want to see. My blog posts, places to eat, my podcasts, my videos, my vlogs. I do have a couple of vlogs that I am still editing, and I have a lot of vlogs that I have to sit down and actually record if I just have the energy to put makeup on and sit in front of a camera and talk for endless hours at a time. But I will have a lot of content on my vlog very, very soon. And yeah, that's basically me. Thank you guys so much for watching Issa Talks. This is issaplease, and I hope that you guys like this episode. If there's anything that you guys want to talk about in the next episodes, please let me know. And before I go, let me say hi to Lorraine and to Mary Luz. So hi guys, but you guys are a little bit too late. You're like an hour late, and I gotta go. Bye. Happy Easter.